That is your girl Tamar.
And JR.
And welcome to another amazing episode of
All Things
Black and White.
Black and White.
With your girl, Tay Tay.
And JR.
Oh my goodness, we've had an amazing week. First of all, thank you guys for liking and subscribing our last videos and all the rest of our videos, and also making us your favorite YouTube couple. I'm just gonna put that out there. I don't know. What happened this week, JR? A week recap.
My baby performed. It was an amazing show, State Farm Arena, and she had a 360 concert where she got turned all the way around and she lit that place up, man. I won't have anything negative to say. We all know that there were some problems, but she was truly spectacular in her performance, and I enjoyed watching that. We got to do some behind the stage, backstage stuff with the family. They were singing and dancing, so it was cool. I enjoyed it. A lot of work going on, obviously, between the two of us, right? That's about it.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay. Well, we're gearing up for JR's birthday. And we're really excited about it because we're big birthday people. And why are you looking like that? Like this man that set up here and secretly bought himself a bunch of stuff for his birthday. I'm a little salty about that too. If you think I didn't know about that, I know about everything.
I don't hide nothing.
You bought yourself a
She
bunch
knows
of
the
stuff.
password for my phone.
You bought yourself. Excuse me, that ain't what I asked you. You bought yourself a bunch of stuff for your birthday?
Not yet.
Anywho,
that's what I do. Listen,
it works on my nerves.
I get it. I understand. So that's a good topic. When do you stop doing things in your comfort zone when you were single? Like she just brought up, like me buying things for myself on my birthday. That's what I do every year. Like, why would I stop treating myself on my birthday? That's
I don't necessarily think you should buy yourself a birthday gift.
Okay.
I'm into that. You know what I mean? Okay. But you go overboard and where you don't leave other people to appreciate you and spoil you.
Well, because I'm just not used to that. If I'm being honest. I'm being
You're not
transparent.
used to a lot of stuff. Okay, so let me tell you one of the issues that JR and I had when we first started dating, because...
You wear my cologne? Oh, wait, no, man. Wrong.
We can jump on that.
Listen.
I don't understand that. He doesn't want me to touch his things.
No, it's not about touching my things. It's about I don't want my woman to smell like me.
Okay, so he has 13,477 bottles of cologne. Some of them are unisex. Some of them I also have. And if I'm out of mine, he doesn't want me to use his.
No.
You know, that's some real Leo shit.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
I just don't want to have my woman smelling like me.
No.
I'm not used to it. Let me say that. I have warmed up to it. But, you know, I just think that a man should smell like a man and a woman should smell like a woman.
What are you talking about? Expensive perfumes and colognes, they're unisex. I don't even know what you're talking about. It's not my fault.
I'm used to it at this
you
point.
used to date strippers who wear Bath and Body Works.
Ain't nobody messing with no champagne and strawberry lotion chick. Stop playing with me. Ain't no pear and apple body spray. Stop.
Yes, you did. You sure know the names.
Well, I mean, I did grow up in the hood. Stop playing. Thank you very much. So, what did we have a problem when we first started dating?
Okay, so like, is it hard for a man to adjust to being in, I don't know, sharing his space from being single to being in a relationship?
Man, that's a great question. I think, you know, I was talking about this at my barbershop, as a matter of fact. I think because somebody asked me.
A black barbershop.
They said, shout out to Mr. Tim. Mr. Tim, much respect to you. Mr. Tim said, do you think men take enough chances at being in love?
Ooh.
And I said, you know, that's a great question. I said, I don't think they do. I think the truth is you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. You have to be willing to take a bit of your peace in what you're used to doing in your own space when you're single. You got to be okay with being uncomfortable. So when you ask me that question, I'm reminded of, wow, there's certain things that you have to compromise and also kind of give up.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when you're single, you come home, you know where everything is. You go in my bathroom and my wife is in there getting ready, you know, there might be hair on the floor. There might be, there might be things that aren't where they normally
Hair on the
are.
floor. Ooh, I hate that. That is so embarrassing, by the way. Women don't like that.
Well, but it's
so
the truth, though. It's
embarrassing.
the truth. So it's like, it's just an example, and I'm not embarrassed by it. I'm not embarrassed by her. She's very clean. She takes care of herself. It's not even that. It's about like knowing where your things are and then being comfortable with somebody being in that space. So, is it uncomfortable being in a relationship versus being single? You're supposed to be uncomfortable, but you find a comfort level that works for you, and that person is good enough, great enough, special enough for you to deal with being uncomfortable and finding a new comfort, a new comfortable.
I feel like that's
the answer. It's the truth.
I feel like that's the rehearsed answer because
no, it's the
I'm just going to tell you
answer.
why, because you did not act this kind after I started going in your drawers wearing your clothes. Yeah, I see. Here we go. Here we go. First it was the cologne. Like, that was a major argument for us. JR. Me spraying his cologne would boil his peanuts. And just like every other female, when you move in or you start getting comfortable at your man place, you wear their clothes. And the kids do too. And you don't like that. You don't like that. It's not just me, it's me and Logan wearing your clothes. See,
there's some new stuff she's dropping on.
But it's true.
It's
you
okay
walk around the house, Logan got your sweatshirt on, he got your basketball. See? Why are you hiding it? It boils his peanuts.
I'm okay with certain things. I'm okay with that. It is what it is. I mean, look, nobody's going to stop anybody from wearing their stuff, but you ask the question, right? The question is, are you comfortable with it? It takes a matter of time to be comfortable with seeing somebody else wear your stuff. And Tamar don't go just for the shorts and the comfortable hoodies.
I go for the JR Law stuff because it's comfortable.
And the Louis Vuitton and all of the stuff that's in the closet, and sometimes it don't make its way back to the closet. So if we bring honest,
it's true. That's my job, though.
I'm not comfortable in the beginning, but now I'm used to it. It is what it is. Of course, you can wear whatever you want to wear. Hey, come on, stop. That is new for me now, and I've gotten more comfortable with it because now my son, my oldest son, Jeremy Jr., is starting to wear 10 and a half and 11 in shoes. And so I'm like, all right, well, let me go ahead and share with him some of my stuff
father,
too.
like son, huh?
Well, I mean,
Praise him.
It is. Come on now.
Amen. Okay. God is good. He's merciful. He endures forever.
Well,
that's what the word says.
Let me ask you the same question. How comfortable will you with, sharing things and having somebody in your space all the time, all day, every day?
I think we talked about this. And I think you got upset with me because the truth is, JR likes to throw things in the trash. And it doesn't necessarily have to be his.
Facts.
And I find it disrespectful. And not that he would be disrespectful on purpose. He's like he's an ex-Marine.
I'm being disrespectful because I threw a cup away that had some ice in it, and she
mine.
wasn't done with it. But it was hers. And that was all that mattered. And I've had to learn that.
Or like things that, I'm gonna give you an example. One time, he bought me this Van Cleef candle, right? Or not even just that, it was like a bunch of stuff. And I don't know, my sisters out there, I get to my stuff when I get to it. I don't necessarily just open my stuff up just because I got it, right? I get to it. You know what I'm saying? So, obviously, I didn't get to whatever he bought me quick enough for him. So you want to know what the man of God did? Opened it up for me. I thought that was so rude. I was like,
ooh,
no, we had remember that? We got a big argument. I was like, it's disrespectful to touch other people's things.
So I'm a, truth be told, it's my honesty moment.
But
I don't like
clutter.
I don't like
stuff.
things sitting everywhere. I will go through and consolidate and throw away what we don't need because I'm one of them types that will, every season I go through my closet. There are things that I don't wear anymore. I get rid of it.
Yeah, but
she's looking at me crazy because I went through a bunch of suits and jackets and was ready to donate it. because I just wasn't gonna wear it again.
How do you know
But
that?
I understand
that?
it's about respect and boundaries, and I think we're learning each other's boundaries.
I think we learned a lot of each other's boundaries.
Learned a lot. Maybe not the easy way either. It was just like it happened and let's address it, and sometimes not let's address it.
Okay, let me tell you one of the things that I feel like you have successfully, it took a while, you have successfully like paid attention to and changed.
Okay.
You get a gold star. Gold star for Marcus. Gold star for JR. Okay, so everybody know you was like the mayor, the king of the streets, right? Well, it's the truth, right before me. So, like, I would spend the night over JR's house or whatever, and we kick it or whatever, have some fun, whatever. And then, like, at the end of the night, you land on your stomach. And I'm like, bruh, not here, not me. You will spoon and got him.
Facts. Yeah,
and you know, I attributed it that. Remember, we had a real deep conversation. I was like, "Yo, what's that about?" Like, because I think when the guys are single, they're not used to giving themselves emotionally. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like that is cut off when they is finished, and then I'm laying on my stomach, and you go to sleep. We ain't gonna. What you mean we're not sleeping?
Yeah.
No, we're not sleeping.
But the other thing I found out too was that she was so comfortable having Logan next to her, and that sometimes when Logan wasn't there, she needed to fill that void, and I understood that it was deeper sometimes too. Not just to feel, for her, as she said to me, it was about connection, and I agree, like we had to have a connection. If we're gonna be in the same bed, like nobody wants to sleep in the same bed and feel like strangers. For me, I
feel like they're sleeping alone.
Or feel like, agreed. I was so comfortable with like passing out, getting comfortable, and just had nothing to do with that.
Yes, it did. Because when you used to having girlfriends, you automatically like, you was like this. It gave that, right?
It did. It did.
Poor women.
Now look, I recorded this one falling asleep on me, full snore. That's a fun fact about Tamar you didn't know. Tamar, when she's very, very comfortable and is in a deep sleep, has the deepest snore ever.
I know you did not tell the people to go.
I told them that. You got a deep snore. But that's only when she's super comfortable, when she like legs up just...
JR!
But that's when I know you sleep good. Why am I getting red?
Because the Holy Ghost is over here knocking you in your forehead, working on your behalf. Get off me, JR. You was pulling my weave out.
Oh, you got weave in?
Okay.
Like I know.
Oh, boys, we so rough. Like I just got my hair done 2 days ago. Relax.
What else?
What else would you say before you told all of our business? First of all, stop telling everything that goes on in that house.
Oh, you want to tell them things? I want to tell them things. You want to tell them things about me throwing stuff away? Well, hello.
Oh, okay. You too, though. You too, though.
I do. Facts. I don't deny that at all.
So let me ask you a question. Because you are single, you was a single father, and I was a single mother. Mm-hmm. How was the transition from getting Logan out of our bed?
It was definitely.
Before the Saints try me, the kind of bed that JR has is that he has wings.
Yes, it's a huge California.
I shouldn't say bed, so I should say room. So he would come into the room and sleep on one of like the little feathers. But he's still in the room. So
no, I think, you know, just like any young man who his mother is his first love, you have a certain comfort, you have a certain level of knowing that your protector, the person you trust the most, the person you wake up next to, the person you go to bed next to, you know, it's an adjustment. I think the challenge was more so of, you know, trying to motivate him to want to be in his own room and find ownership in his own room and have fun falling asleep, by himself. That still sometimes is a challenge, but
Well, you was the only child. Was that hard for you?
My growing up in a sleeping situation was never sleeping in the same bed with my mom. No, that's a whole different conversation.
What you mean?
My mama was turning tricks, baby. I wasn't sleeping in the bed with my mom. I was sleeping on a sofa or on the floor on a blanket. Yeah, that's a whole different conversation. That's probably, I'm be sorry, it's okay. It's what made me who I am. It's probably why I was a little caught off guard with having a young man so close to his mother, but I understood it. So to answer your question, it was very difficult. I think it was very difficult. So we would come up with timelines. We'd say, all right, Logan, at this time, you're going to get into bed, okay? Because we're going to go to sleep and you got to go to school tomorrow, or you have a long day tomorrow. It'd be that time, and he knew it'd be that time. And he'd sit there for another 15 minutes, and I just had 5 more minutes. And he would stay.
And I would want him to.
And she wanted to.
That's that single mother
What am I
stuff.
going to do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I was surprised about how independent your kids are, even the little ones.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe because I'm a real hardcore single, I was a hardcore single mother.
Yeah.
I was I don't know. It's weird to say. I'm still super connected.
Sure.
But it was super connected. You find that way, with single mothers that you
Well,
used to date?
I don't know about that. I can only speak on me. I know that my children love sleeping with me. We used to have this daddy movie night thing when they were all much younger, because I felt like at a certain age, I as a single father had to establish that they needed their own privacy and their own independence, because the one thing I'm trying to do is protect them and not make them think it's okay to be in the bed with somebody sleeping at a certain age. So I did that purposely. But when we'd have daddy movie night, they loved, they'd be out cold in the first 30 minutes and they'd be fighting to sleep. They'd be the closest one next to me. Mm-hmm. I've got tons of pictures of that stuff. But I think the difference for me is because of how I was raised. I always wanted to raise my children to be independent, and
no, mine's independent until it's time to go to bed.
Fair, that's fair. But I just mean, Logan has a very supporting, loving family around him.
Yeah.
I didn't always have that.
Yeah.
So for me, it's more about teaching my children a little bit about me, showing them the love and support, but also teaching them a level of independence at a younger age, so that
I don't know, it's deep. Youngest don't want to sleep in the bed with us.
Yeah.
He's not interested. He'll watch TV and he'll be like, okay, I'm going night. Okay. And go in his room.
Deuces, peace out.
And I was like, what you mean? And that's my buddy. What you mean?
Yeah. No, he's got a routine, and once he goes to sleep, it's a wrap. He sleeps good too.
By himself. That's
really
crazy. It's so crazy. Yeah. It's bananas. That's all I got.
On that, huh?
I remember when I did Big Brother, and I talked about me and my son been close since the day he came out the womb. And I remember saying something about Logan sleeping in the bed with me, and my mother said that I was in the house, so I had no electronics, I had no social media, no nothing like that. She said that they ate me up because, y'all remember that? Y'all remember that story? They ate me up because I was talking about Logan being in the bed. Is that inappropriate?
Logan sleeping in the bed after a certain amount of time?
No, with somebody that ain't their daddy.
Very inappropriate.
Okay, you got to break that down to me.
Very inappropriate.
I don't understand that. First of all, a parent who knows that their child is in the bed with somebody else is not going to let that child sleep next to the other person.
Problem is, you don't know the person long enough or good enough if it's my opinion, if you have a child and you're in a new relationship and that child is sleeping in the bed with both of you, I think it's your obligation to the other parent to make sure that that child sleeps in their own bed, because you want, number one, first, the truth is you don't know everybody as good as you think you know people. And the truth is that that's how children, I don't want to go there, but that's how some things happen to children, because you overtrust your mate. And when you overtrust your mate, sometimes you're setting yourself up for failure. In my opinion, I've never dealt with it. I've never had it happen. I will go out of my way if my child were crying or not feeling well. Like, I'll go sleep in the bed with my child before I let my child sleep in the bed with me. I think men have a difference of opinion about that because, we're protectors. And women who are more nurturers, they want their child close to them in any situation. So I think it's a valid question, but my personal opinion is that you shouldn't let a child sleep in the bed with your new mate, especially if their father or their mother are actively involved in their life. Because it's opening a bunch of doors that could be irresponsible, in my opinion. But why do you feel a certain type of way? You said they were eating you up about it because you mentioned.
I don't care. Well, because here's the thing. I don't know. Like, if it's, how new we talking about? We ain't talking about somebody you just met 2 months ago. We're not talking about somebody. Like, we're talking about being grown and being responsible. Let's say your kids have a bad dream, right? And you and your new husband or fiance or whatever is sleeping in the bed, and the kid comes in the room and sleep in the bed. Something wrong with that?
I mean,
I'm asking.
If you're asleep and you're tired, do you want to get up and go in the other room with them? You probably don't want to. But if you don't, now you're creating a habit. And the habit is that anytime that they don't feel comfortable sleeping in the bed, they can just come get in the bed, i.e. Logan. You gotta be able to. No, I'm not picking it on anybody. I'm just saying you gotta be able to create a structured environment.
Agreed.
And if you allow it to be that, there's the one-offs. I get it. But if you're asking me, is it okay on a regular basis? No, it's not okay on a regular basis. If you have, of course, they have a nightmare and they want to, they want to sleep with their mom or their dad. Sure. But I honestly believe, having been in that situation, because obviously I have children outside of our relationship, outside of marriage, I would get up and go sleep in the bed with them until I felt like they felt more comfortable and protected, and put them back to sleep, and then I'll go back and get in the bed. That's just a sacrifice you make, and I think more than anything, it's the structure that you put in to letting them know, I'm here, but this is your bed, and if something is bothering you, then I'll come in here and protect you. But this is now your independent space. Sorry, I know it sounds very scripted and whatever, but I mean, that's how I've dealt with it in my relationship in the past, when my children were younger.
Okay, so would you have a problem if any of your children were sleeping in the bed with their mother's husband,
Absolutely.
fiance? You would.
My previous experience, without getting too in detail, is that has happened before, and it boiled my blood, and I had a conversation about it. And I thought, my personal opinion is you don't know somebody as well as you think you know somebody. And if my child ends up a certain way because you've trusted this person more than you've respected my position on it, then it's not okay. And that's just my strong belief.
What if the child is not even nowhere near you?
Doesn't matter. I mean, you're going to sleep in the middle of me. Are you awake the whole time? You don't know. Right?
Well, if that person is a predator, then they're just a predator. That means that while you're sleeping, they can go in the kids' room and be a predator. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
but I don't want to open up any gray areas to allow anything to happen like that. I don't even want to think about it. I don't allow it to get there. So you're asking me the question. I wouldn't prefer for my children who don't live with me to lay in the bed with their mother and their mother's partner, husband, new mate, whatever. Because in my opinion, they only got one father for life. And whether the father's active or not active, marriages come and go, relationships come and go sometimes. That's the unfair reality. I don't want to expose my child or have my child exposed to something that wouldn't provide a safe environment. And I respect your opinion. I agree with you. I think that if you love somebody enough to introduce them to your children, then you trust them enough. But I think in order to...
Or to live in the house with your children.
Agreed. But if you establish a safe...
The bed is the boundary, you're saying?
The bed is the boundary, for sure. I think that is what should be. But I might be wrong. I'm willing to accept that. Maybe I'm just overly protective and I'm always considering the what ifs, and I want to remove any gray area that's there.
Okay.
Well, that was an interesting topic.
Well, I think that blended families have,
They do.
these obstacles.
Yeah. And that people don't often talk about these
Yeah.
things at all. Like what we're talking about right now.
Oh my God, stay out of my mentions. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm just saying, no, because, it's not just, your transition from being single to being in a committed relationship. It's the kid of the single parent transitions too.
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they have to get used to not just being around that one parent. That's why
Right.
I'm trying to allow some grace, and thinking like, okay, so what's the cutoff? You know what I mean? You don't just cut your kid off because you've met someone. You don't just cut your kid off because you got married. You know what I mean? And you're in a relationship now. That kid has to be weaned into a comfortable, safe space. So that's just, I was going with it.
Yeah, I agree that it's a transition period, right? I think what you're saying is it's a transition from what used to be just mom and her son.
For
and
sure.
It doesn't
Or
matter
dad
if he got
has
his
to- yeah,
own
for sure.
room and he can come sleep in the bed. Mom doesn't care because the truth is moms would love to have their children up under them, even especially their boys, especially moms with only childs. I mean, I know what that's like. Even when my mom was in a good or bad place, I loved laying next to her. I mean, that was something I can relate to as being the only child of a single parent mother. But I think the transition has to be explained and you have to have patience through it. And after a while, you just have to establish the boundaries and say that this is not just because we as your parents or we as
a
couple or married or engaged, we're doing it because we love you and we want to establish the boundaries. And now it's not because mom doesn't love you any differently or because dad doesn't love you any differently. It's because we want to make sure that you feel safe and we feel safe knowing that you're not sleeping in the bed with us. Yeah. Whether you're comfortable about it or not.
Yeah, I mean, I think that time, you know what I mean? And letting the kid know that they're not being replaced.
Well, let's ask this question. How old is too old for a kid to sleep in the bed with you?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Yeah. I don't have that answer.
Yeah.
I think it has to do with the child. I mean, I feel like you can definitely set a structure for your child, right?
Mm-hmm.
But every child just doesn't get it right away. They
Yeah.
have to be ready.
Yeah.
They have to be ready. Whether you explain it to them or not, I never ever want my kid or any kid to feel like they're unwanted.
Mm-hmm.
And that could be an abandonment thing for them, especially from a single parent.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think the other side of that too is you don't, I think if you wait too long to put that person into their own room and
It gets
have
harder.
boundaries, it gets a
harder.
lot harder because
That's
then
true.
it's not, you don't have to explain to your child why you don't want your child after a certain point to not sleep in the bed with
For
you.
sure.
I mean, I get the element of love and care and making sure they feel like they're loved and they're not kicked out, but like they also have to understand, and maybe they're just not used to seeing it, that adults sleep in the bed by themselves and
For
the
sure.
children sleep in the bed by themselves. And so that then becomes the structure of reminding them why. So you can't over amplify the care and concern or a perceived neglect, because if you over amplify it, then you give them ammunition to use it against you. You have to explain it and with love and compassion, and then establish the boundary. And if it works, it works. And if it's a transition that you constantly have to work through, then you just work through it, and you do it with love and care and patience as much as possible.
I think I agree with that.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Watch out.
Well, listen, thank you for joining us for another episode of All Things Black and White. Look, it get real around here in these streets.
It does. I'm sorry we don't have a bunch of controversial things to talk about, but I think the relationship, and especially a blended family coming together, an interracial family coming together, there are a lot of things that people just don't talk about. And I hope that we're answering some of those questions and some of those topics that can be difficult. And you can see sometimes it's uncomfortable to talk about
for sure,
and be real about your reality. But I think that's the great thing about this show, is we're able to do that and do it with love and come back and say, whether we agree with each other, we don't, we still love each other, and we want to talk about the solution. So thank y'all so much. Look forward to seeing y'all. Hit that subscribe and like button. All Things Black and White with
Tamar.
JR.
We'll see you next week.
Peace out.
Bye.